Hi there guys, so when being asked whether anyone could beat Tyson Fury, David Haye responded with one person, and that was Anthony Joshua. He believes that Anthony Joshua is the only one who has the artillery to beat Tyson Fury. This is what he had to say. I think the only person who has the artillery, the skill set, the athleticism, the clean living, the know-how, the experience to have a chance to beat Fury right now is Anthony Joshua. I think he's the only person, realistically. If you were a betting man, if anyone's got a chance, they put their money on Anthony Joshua. So he's the only one who has the tools to do it. If he lands his shots on Fury the way Fury got put down, although his chin looked good last time, but Anthony Joshua is a master boxer as well. They underestimate his boxing skill. He hasn't been boxing as long as Tyson Fury has, so he's still learning. I don't know, I can see Fury outboxing Joshua long on the inside, but then again, I can see Anthony Joshua letting his hands go in the middle range. He throws such quick shots. The way he knocked out Alexander Povetkin, the fight was uncomfortable for him for a few rounds, but he put his shots together and it was all over. As soon as he starts putting his shots together, he's so big, he's so strong and robust. The fight he lost against Andy Ruiz Jr., it wasn't a split decision loss, it was a horrible loss, and I think people look too much at that. Boxing doesn't work like that. I lost to Carl Thompson in my 11th fight, and 3 years later, I was undisputed #1. It doesn't matter, as long as you learn, you can come back. So there we go, that is David Haye's verdict on a potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. He believes that Anthony Joshua is the only one who has the tools to beat Tyson Fury. Now, I have to agree with him. I don't think there's anyone else out there who can beat Tyson Fury other than Anthony Joshua. Maybe Dillian Whyte, but Anthony Joshua puts his shots together. He's not just one big knockout puncher. And I mean, I guess we have to consider how hard does Deontay Wilder really hit, because it was only recently that he was really considered a big puncher, or the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division, I should say, but still, he's considered the biggest puncher ever. But if you look at his resume, who has he really knocked out who are A-level fighters? Luis Ortiz, and I'd say that's the only one. He's never knocked out an Alexander Povetkin, a Dillian Whyte. So how hard does Deontay Wilder hit? Because when he was fighting Duhaupas and fighting fighters like that, he wasn't considered this huge one-punch concussive knockout puncher. He was a big puncher, but not the way he's considered now. So is Deontay Wilder really that hard a puncher, or is it the opposition that he has faced that has allowed him to be considered that kind of puncher? I don't know. I think he does hit pretty hard, because obviously Fury said that he does, and he dropped Fury twice. But in the second fight between Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, that power didn't really bother Tyson Fury at all, and that seemed like that was only Deontay Wilder's one trick. He could only have that power, that right hand, and that was all he really had in the fight, and that didn't work. So clearly the power maybe isn't as concussive as it has been made out in the past, because Tyson Fury stood up to it. And Tyson Fury takes a shot well now. I mean, Tyson Fury was put down earlier on in his career against a cruiserweight, Steve Cunningham, but obviously he got up and won that fight, and against Deontay Wilder in the first fight he was dropped twice, but in the second fight the power wasn't enough to bother him, and I think that at 19 stone, I think Tyson Fury is taking punches pretty well. So Anthony Joshua isn't going to knock Tyson Fury out with one shot. If he does manage to knock Tyson Fury out, then it's going to be an accumulation of punches, not just one big shot, because if Deontay Wilder couldn't do it, then I don't think that Anthony Joshua can. And of course, that is if you believe that Deontay Wilder is the biggest puncher in heavyweight history, which I don't think he is, because I don't believe that he's knocked out enough A-level fighters or even B-level fighters to be considered that big a puncher, because as I said, Luis Ortiz is the only A-level fighter he's ever really knocked out. He's knocked down an A-level fighter in Tyson Fury, but he didn't knock him out. Whereas Anthony Joshua has been knocking out B and A-level fighters like Alexander Povetkin, like Vladimir Klitschko, like Dillian Whyte. So he has knocked out that kind of opponent, whereas Deontay Wilder hasn't. So you can say that Deontay Wilder is a much bigger puncher than Anthony Joshua, but then you can also look at their resumes and see that Anthony Joshua has been knocking out higher level oppositions than Deontay Wilder. So if you consider that, you can't say that Deontay Wilder is a much bigger puncher than Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua puts his punches together. That is why he is so dangerous in a fight with Tyson Fury, because he does put his punches together. Tyson Fury is going to have to look for more than just a right hand coming back. Because against Deontay Wilder, the biggest thing was keep that right hand away. Make sure he doesn't bring that right hand into the game. And ultimately, Tyson Fury done a great job of nullifying that. But with Anthony Joshua, he throws a great right hand, a great left hook, a good jab, a good uppercut as well. He also works the body well as well. So Anthony Joshua has so many different options to his boxing game than Deontay Wilder does. That is why he is much more dangerous to Tyson Fury than Deontay Wilder. Because I believe that 9 times out of 10, Tyson Fury beats Deontay Wilder. Maybe that other time, Deontay Wilder finds the punch, but there is no guaranteeing that the punch even works if it lands properly. Because again, we don't know how big a puncher Deontay Wilder really is. I mean, he could land that punch, but then Tyson Fury could also take it. At 19 stone, as I said, he is taking punches pretty well. So it seems like Tyson Fury has Deontay Wilder's number, but he does not yet have Anthony Joshua's number. And the only way we can find out if Anthony Joshua is the only one who can beat Tyson Fury is to see it in the ring. We can speculate all we like, but the only way we're ever going to know is if they step in the ring together. Let's hope that happens sooner rather than later. Guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? David Haye believes that Anthony Joshua is the only one who is able to beat Tyson Fury, and I have to say, I agree with him. Maybe Dillian Whyte is the only other fighter who maybe has a chance against Tyson Fury, but other than that, Anthony Joshua is the only one really, at the moment, who is believed to be able to beat Tyson Fury. But anyway guys, drop your thoughts about this in the comments below. Also leave a like and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.